So everybody always asks me about this thing. I designed it so that I could travel on my electric skateboard with two coffees. If you're trying to hold a controller and a coffee in each hand, it's super dangerous to ride these electric skateboards. So about a year ago, I got the chance to try out some really cool new software called N-Topology. And it lets you do some really awesome geometries, kind of geared towards additive manufacturing. So one of the very first parts that I did was this thing. And it's really cool. It's got these kind of lattices built in and some kind of neat Voronoi kind of effects on the side. But I kind of want to show you how I did it, or kind of what the process was like to build a part like this. So we're going to go back to my lab in downtown Las Vegas, and we're going to check it out. Alright, so we made it back to the lab. Let's start with kind of taking a look at how I modeled this in N-Topology, and then we'll kind of move on to the manufacturing process and stuff like that. Alright, so let's go take a look. Okay, so we're in the software N-Topology. It can do like topology optimization and really some really cool lattice stuff. It's an implicit modeling tool, and I'm kind of learning it as I go. So obviously right now I'm focusing on how to carry coffees with my electric skateboard. And I'm using this to kind of learn and better be able to predict like how topology optimization works and playing with lattices and kind of implicit modeling in general. So we're not doing anything too crazy here. I'm just looking for a really good kind of looking model that can carry coffees on an electric skateboard. So where I started with was a volume. This is basically what I could be able to print on my 3D printer. I have like a consumer level Ender 3 that I'm working with. And I also measured out what the geometry needed to be for the cups to fit in. And I think I'm going to use a fabric handle. On the electric skateboard, I mean, you hit a bump or something and it can jar, it can break 3D printed parts depending on how they're made. And I just don't think that everything needs to be 3D printed. Sometimes you just need a fabric handle. So I have these little areas here that I can loop a fabric handle. So I think I'm going to do that. So I started with this volume, right? And I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And then next I did a topology optimization. It's a lot more complex than I'm showing right now, but just to kind of to gloss over it a little bit. This is what I ended up with. So it took all the volume away that was not required per my specification. So I basically put a load that simulated what 2 coffee cups would be, and then I kind of ran in like a small FEA, and it decided that it could do this. So if you end up looking at this, the analysis, you can see all the loads were put on the interior here. So that's how I got kind of the shape. Then I did all sorts of crazy things with like smoothing and joining bodies and more like modeling. A lot of workflows that I'm not really going to get into right now. And I ended up with this. I smoothed everything out. I dialed all the geometry back in. I applied a lattice. I did some modeling here. The way the lattice kind of ended up on the edges I didn't really like. So I added a little like shield piece here, and then I added like a Voronoi emboss on the edges. So it was a lot of different things I've never played with before, and it's actually a pretty nice smooth model. So what I'm going to do now is output a mesh. We're going to run this on the 3D printer. Then I'm going to build a little fabric handle now that will connect here.